What's up, Gavin?
What's up, Matt?
How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
What's up, Javen?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. You know,
That's good.
Just a little closer.
a little closer.
Little closer,
Right
yeah.
there. All right, perfect. I got you.
So, Gav,
Yeah,
we have a homie on the podcast,
we do.
chilling down here.
No, like
Yes,
always.
sir.
Like always.
What would you say that we are?
We are live. Yeah.
All right, sync that one up today too. So as we say every week, well I say every week, we have a really interesting topic today. We have one of our good buddies, Javen Ruffin, on here today.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be fun. We have some really kind of crazy events that have happened in the past week. Gavin and I were on the same wavelength when we got here this morning, and we're like, all right, well, let's talk about some of the crazy stuff that's been happening. Because this past 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
2 weeks has been crazy.
Honestly, this
Yeah.
whole year, dude.
Well, so far, yeah.
Yeah,
With the
Since
Chinese spy
Ukraine.
balloon and
Yeah.
dude, that was crazy.
Well, then didn't somebody say that there was like a it was like for some kind of like documentary or something, like some kind of like they were trying to like play it off, but there's somebody
Yes, they
said,
are.
well, yeah, but
I mean, let's be honest. You break into somebody's house, right? They
Yeah.
come down the fucking steps butt naked.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry for cursing.
It's fine.
butt
We don't
naked.
care. We curse all the
They
time.
come down. They come outside butt ass naked. What do you say?
I'd probably just shoot them.
You don't have a gun though. You just
Oh.
like
Oh, I'd probably just
You don't say, "Hey, I'm robbing your house."
Mhm.
Hey, your door was open. I was making sure that nobody was in here. What do you think China's gonna do? You know?
yeah.
No, exactly.
That's true.
And that was the whole thing. It's like they shot down this balloon, and again, I heard it first on TikTok. And I'm like, how true is this? And I'm like, oh wow, like this could have been like an actual like national security, because they did it over the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
It's how when they shot where they shot it down, and that kind of like catalyst all this other like
Yeah.
yeah
It was just like a pendulum. Well, not a pendulum, but it was like the first domino to
Mhm.
fall, and then it was just one.
No,
That was
it's
just
not
one
like-
thing after the next.
Guys, I think we're underplaying this, bro. This is an act of war.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
This is an act of war.
Yeah.
Dude.
So there's this thing that I was telling you guys about. There's this book called The Fourth Turning. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing it, Gav, but every 80 years there's some kind of massive catalyst event. So like 80 years from now, right, was 1943, World War II. Before that, you have another big war. You have the Civil War. All these catalysts are just appearing and appearing and appearing. Then you have the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And every 80 years, we are now on our 80th year.
Oh. So after this year, we're big chillin'.
Oh, you think so? If we make it to 2024?
Well, we're definitely gonna make it there. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's like crazy stuff keeps happening because, well, I feel like our society is like going downhill.
Yeah.
Right. Just by like how people interact with one another on a daily basis, and I feel like the government's way at the like even lower than we thought. Like the bottom of the trenches.
Yeah.
And so I think like it's going to take at least another 5-10 years to really reset, if everything kind of reset at like a right point. Like, so for example, let's say like there's a new president, right? And they come in and they're like, yeah, we're gonna change some stuff, and everything kind of goes not back to like fully normal, but at least better.
Yeah.
But from that point, it would probably take at least like 5 or 10 years to really like reset the whole country. I think.
Yeah.
Because shit is getting reckless, man.
No. What do you guys think? Like barring all like everything, just full out. Just what do you guys think caused this all? Like, what do you think was like the
I
big
know
thing?
exactly what caused all this.
Calls like what? Like all
Like
this
everything.
Turmoil.
Oh, I'll tell you what caused it. The year was 2016.
Oh my god.
The state was Ohio. The city was Cincinnati. The location was a zoo.
That's where he was going.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. All right.
His name was Harambe.
You gotta say Harambe.
Yeah, Harambe.
Harambe.
No, it's Harambe, bro.
Yeah.
It's not no Harambe.
Yeah,
It's
fuck
not no
that.
wood or water thing.
It's not no water
Water.
thing. It's water.
It's water. Yes.
Yeah, it's water.
It's water. No, it's okay.
It's water. That's what I'm
No,
saying. I'm
no,
saying
it's
the same
water,
thing.
bro. It's
No,
cool.
D.
It's fine.
I'm not putting a D. I'm putting a T.
It's a water.
It's water.
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 Say walk.
Walk.
Wook.
No, I don't know. Like literally, I've had this argument with everybody. That's like one of the only words that like naturally. That's how I say it. It's not like a. I don't understand. Like
See, you want to hear something weird though?
what?
Like, yeah, you
Well,
got
just
this.
a little bit.
You got an accent though, right? But like Norristown accent.
Yeah.
My mom from Norristown But you say water's the only one, like the only like word that you have an accent with. Say one.
One.
Who won the game?
Who won the game?
My mom says Juan.
Whoa.
What?
Juan?
All the old
Really?
men. Yeah, bro, it's Juan.
Juan?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lady that came in the other day, and she was calling everything like Tuesday, and we like that kind of thing. I'm like, what?
Nah, that's like broken English.
or a,
Yeah.
a hot dog.
What?
Yeah, that's
A
broken
hot dog?
English, bro.
Yeah.
She got a second language.
Yeah. Well, no, she seemed. I mean, I don't know. She seemed like she was American, but she was like. That was just her. Like she talked completely in, like an American accent, and then she was just like, "Yeah, this last Tuesday," and I'm like I don't even know how to say it. It was like it wasn't Tuesday. It was like Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Is it like a Wisconsin kind of like accent or like?
I don't know.
You know what the accent I love the most is like that Memphis accent. They be like Murr. I'm like, I look
yeah.
myself in the mirror.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
You know?
Or oil.
Oh. Look at all the oil.
The oil.
The oil.
Talk about the oil prices.
Yeah. Because to them, it's like they say oil, but then they go, "What do you want me to say?" Oil. Oil. It's oil. Oil.
Yeah, oil.
Oil. It's a funny
Well,
word.
Well,
but-
speaking of like things that have been like the whole thing with like oil and like dispersing, but like especially like in Ohio with like that big train derailment right now,
yeah.
that has been
Can we just
catastrophic.
talk about how nobody talked about it for like a week before, like when it
Dude,
happened?
I didn't know about it until I saw it
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Literally, I saw it. I saw it on Twitter, and it was like I don't know if it was that. It wasn't. Couldn't have been that day, I guess. But it was like a couple days after,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they were like, somebody was like, "Yo, what is going on in Ohio?" And then of course everybody was making a meme like down in
Oh,
Ohio,
yo, sweat, yeah.
and then people started really being like, "Yo, dog, did like a nuclear bomb go off? Like what happened?" And because it looks, I mean, it like that the way that the cloud form and everything, it did look like
they
some kind of.
said- I don't know if you guys heard this, but I've heard that like all the other countries, like all countries in like in Europe and
Yeah.
like Asian countries, they already knew about this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they
they
had
said that
they
they-
were covering it before
Yeah.
us.
They said that the explosion was so big and so enormous that you could see the mushroom cloud from space.
Yeah, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
dog.
Well, it was crazy because it was happening, and then they were like people were like, "Yo, dog, like this is like something's going on,"
Yeah.
and then the government was like, "Well, guys, might have been aliens, might have been,"
Yeah.
and then
from three
and then
drop down.
people are evacuating the city, right?
Yeah.
And then the government's like, "All right, let's go test it," and they're going in and testing it, but they're not even like first of all they're going into people's homes.
Yeah.
They're going to their basements. They're going like people
Yeah.
that aren't at their houses that evacuated.
And they're not even in martial law.
Nope.
That's
yeah.
not so it's illegal. We can't.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
yeah.
yeah. So then they're going in to this town and they're like testing it,
Uh.
and then they're like, oh well, the data is showing that the levels are good enough, like if they're in the limit. Oh, but it's what is it like a 50-mile radius or something?
I
Where
heard it
like
was 100.
100-mile radius?
Yeah.
Where like the frogs are dying, fish are dying, cattle are getting sick, pets are getting
Dude,
sick.
there were, and I'm not saying like, I'm saying thousands of fish
Yeah.
were coming off on like this Bay Area, this coast, and it was like on the shore, like it was a disgusting amount of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Molly McGuire's on a Friday night, fish everywhere, bro. And it was really bad. And they're like, "Oh, the water's safe." And exactly what you said.
Yep.
That the levels are safe. The levels are safe. But
Yep.
why are all these fish dying?
Facts.
If the levels are safe, when do you think we're gonna see somebody like in like a little fishing boat coming up grabbing those fish?
I don't think the levels are safe.
Yeah, I don't.
What?
Like, look,
No. I see what you're saying. You don't think the levels
Yeah,
are safe, but
if it was,
if it's coming out that it's safe,
they're just
who's
rolling up,
sto-
just sticking to the
fuck,
fish.
no, I may as well just go get me a little rowboat. You know what I mean? A little fish pole.
Yeah,
grab
just go
it as
pick
you
them up.
can.
Just big net.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, it's like so all right. So what's crazy was that the Chinese, the CCP,
Yeah.
are calling this America's Chernobyl event.
I heard that. Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
yeah, so they're
that
calling
too.
it America's Chernobyl event. This is being documented around the world as the greatest ecological disaster the United States has ever seen.
Nah, it's a little.
No, I could
mean,
see
what-
that. No.
what would be worse?
The gold rush.
The gold rush.
Yeah, dog.
What do you mean?
Manifest destiny. How many fucking square miles did we like rip out of the fucking earth trying to find gold? Fool's gold at that. Think about it.
Yeah, but that's not a disaster.
Yeah,
that's just
yeah.
that's just like that's just
Okay,
like
Well then, all right. Think
work.
about it this way. Yeah, it's work, but think about all the animals that they killed. All the
Oh,
the
yeah.
millions of
yeah,
bison.
we're
That's true.
yeah, but that's a global thing too, because you're also thinking about like they also knocked down how many hundreds of thousands of miles of trees and like
Yeah.
forests and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like a one singular event to happen on American soil. This is not like, oh, they're knocking down a forest or doing whatever.
Yeah.
This was a disaster because it wasn't. It was like it's a little too big of a thing for how little they covered it.
Yeah.
For it not to be a setup, in my opinion.
And the wild part is like there's 4,800 people that were near that border too
Yeah.
that are now getting affected.
Yeah.
And like the chemicals on there, I'll rattle some off, but they're not like, and like I was looking some up the other day when I saw like the TikTok about it. I was doing my research. These are not just like your CVS store chemicals. You have vinyl chloride, you have isopropylene, you have like benzene, and the one that's like really everyone's freaking out is the vinyl chloride.
Yeah.
It ended up being released in the air because they were burning off. So
Yeah, they set it on. They set everything on fire. They're like,
Yeah.
"I'll fix it."
So right now there are like black clouds in the sky, like not like like it's raining or whatever.
Yeah.
It is accumulating in the sky, and this is what's going to cause acid rain.
Yeah.
So not only are they having all these problems with their ecosystem, this is like I guess like a Chernobyl event. Like
Yeah.
this isn't just going to end in like a week or 2 weeks or
This
a
is
couple months.
and it not only affected Ohio, but it affected PA too.
Yeah.
It's in
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
and
the crosswinds are gonna take
Yeah.
whatever's in that air down.
Mhm.
So.
it's scary, man. It's scary because number one, like we said, nobody covered it,
Yeah.
and then even still, there's not a lot of coverage on it.
Well, there's a reason for that. There's always going to be a reason for that, and I don't want to speak too much on it because no matter what we're going to hear, no matter what we're going to see, we're never going to get the actual truth.
Right.
But I would love to hear the explanation that comes out of Joe Biden's mouth.
Oh yeah.
I would love to.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's also another thing. He said we're giving this is great news in the midst of everything that's happening. He's now officially signed, or like he said something where he's giving our tax money is now also going to be sent over to Ukraine to help fund the war, or like fund their fight in the war, and to pay for government pension so that they quote unquote have something.
Oh, do you feel that like I'm just,
Where is NATO? What?
well, no. See,
Where's-
see, the whole problem with NATO is if NATO gets fully involved like that,
Fully
that's
involved.
so like okay. So basically, I think now correct me if I'm wrong. If Putin put out like NATO can't like get involved, if NATO gets involved with this, they're going to take it as like an act of war. Like they're basically signing like a war contract.
Yeah.
And then they're like NATO can't get involved. So that's why they've been playing it delicately, sending over money, sending over guns, but not getting directly involved.
But where's NATO's money?
Huh? You're looking at it right now.
No,
You're looking at it right now.
Well, listen, if we go to war, well, first I think there's an invisible war going on.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
I think
yeah, without a
stuff
doubt.
has been happening.
Intelligence war. It's
Yeah.
all about who's got the most intelligence on who.
Well, that's why they're all freaking out about this whole derailment because like they said it was mechanical failure, right?
Which I would understand if it was like, a normal train, like a cargo train or something, because a lot of weight, a lot of stuff, right? But this is a pretty big,
yeah, these are some.
pretty big derailment.
I don't know if you guys heard this, but I heard that the reason the shipping company that was actually like shipping the containers,
Right.
they were cutting corners.
Yeah,
I heard
yeah,
that.
yeah. I did hear that.
Well, that's the thing. Americans don't want to pay Americans to do work,
Oh,
so
no, bro.
because Americans are expensive.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
signed
all about
me
their
up to
money.
make iPhones. That iPhone's coming out to $10,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
MSRP.
Yeah.
MSRP.
Without the markups.
Yeah. No, I definitely. It's crazy because now that the Ohio thing happened, right? The president of the United States isn't really addressing anything. He's he's talking about using our tax dollars for another country that is being run by like the president of Ukraine, right? He used to be like a comedian,
he's a
right?
stand-up
He was
comic.
on TV shows in
Yeah.
Ukraine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How is it that Russia and Ukraine are in an active war? Every time you hear about it, oh, this bomb just hit this city, and this is going on, and Russia's doing this, and then retired David Letterman is able to just like roll in and do a a setup interview,
Yeah.
and then
Talked about this, yeah.
it's like and it's like, look, say what you want about the Ukraine conflict, but I'm saying this, if Trump, I'm thinking like if Trump is in office, I think this whole thing is over, and I don't even know if this thing happens.
No, it doesn't.
You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't.
But regardless of the point, it's what's crazy about it is nobody is really caring
Yeah.
Like, how many times you go on TikTok or YouTube or so, like whatever it is, you Twitter, Instagram, and what are we looking at? Oh, this new car is coming out. This car is going fast. This chick's hot. This dude just got knocked out.
I actually don't have TikTok.
No?
No,
Smart.
I've never
Yeah,
downloaded
it's smart.
it.
It's a smart thing. Well, America's trying to ban that too.
I see why, man.
Well, there was the whole thing where there was this guy. I don't. It was released on Reddit. I don't know like what other forums it was. That's where I was like told to like look, and some guy reverse engineered TikTok and was like, "This is the wildest piece of software and the most like malignant thing that anyone could download on their phone."
Yeah.
And yet, you and I are
Everybody
addicted
has
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really smart. But there was talk from the government. I don't know the House Representative number. I did know, but I don't remember it anymore. Like you guys can look it up, and I'll be sure to put it up. They were talking to Apple and Google about taking it down from the App Store.
Yeah.
So I knew that was going to happen. I don't know what's going on with that now. I don't know like what motion
Well,
that's
didn't they
in.
try to put it through and then it didn't get passed?
I don't know. I
don't
can't speak
remember.
on. I don't know the actual.
But no, regardless of that, we have this in Ohio. We have the president saying what he's saying about Ukraine and our tax dollars.
Yep.
Now we got another train derailment in Michigan.
Yep.
Right? Half an hour outside of Detroit.
Yep.
Right. What is going on? Like,
Well, that's the thing. That's why when you said today we got to talk about this, I was like, I'm for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Like, okay. Does this not resemble the beginnings of like?
Terrorist attacks.
Yeah, like one of those movies where it's like,
No, I see.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the White House is down, or
And they're
you
not
know,
giving out any information.
they don't know.
People are dying.
yeah.
Like,
Look at what happened. Look at literally the
Oh.
perfect point was from. I don't know if you saw the movie Don't Look Up.
I know, I never saw that.
But, so basically, he
that was
goes.
pretty good.
So basically, these scientists find there's a meteor triple the size or something of the one that it made the dinosaurs go extinct, coming for Earth. It's impending doom. We're all gonna die. So the government, they're telling this to the president, right? The president's like, so what are the chances of it hitting us? And they're like 90%, and they go, or like 98% or something, and they're like, oh, so we'll call it 75, and we'll tell people that we're safe, and everything's fine, and and then like that's the whole movie is the government doesn't care, and they have a whole plan to get on a spaceship and fly off to another planet, inhabitable planet, and let the Earth die. And I'm like,
I mean, you see kind of similarities from that movie in real life with Elon Musk with all those rockets and the one-way trip to Mars.
Yeah.
There's a reason for everything. We just don't know what it is.
And now scientists are saying that apparently, I don't know if it's in our solar system or like I don't know what it is, but it's like they found just recently there's like now a couple thousand inhabitable planets similar to Earth out there.
Well, let me ask you a question. You know where you're like when you were younger, and you're like, okay, well, I really want to go to this party or I want to go to this birthday party, wherever it was. You have to like warm up your mom to the idea.
Yeah.
And then when you go to ask her, you wait till it's a good time and you go, hey, Mom, remember that really cool party Javen was going to have? And then you've already prepped her for it.
Yeah, you wake up early, maybe you do some folding in the laundry.
Yep, you've been dropping things all week for it.
Yep.
There's basically what it is it's training. And I think the whole thing is during COVID, when they said something about like the UFO, and they're continuously saying things, and then now it's like, okay, well, we have no choice. We have to tell them at some point.
Yeah.
And they're like leading us up to this big reveal, and then we're gonna be like, all right, bro, we knew it, 2 years, So I think that's also on the rise as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a couple of years now. I'm like the government, like people keep saying, oh, like trust in the government. The government is not here to help you. Like we got a reprieve with having Trump in office, right? Because you saw it, whether you hate Trump or love Trump.
Yeah. He told you the truth.
He told you the truth, and you saw what happened to the country. You saw the economy and everything. Now, barring the protests, barring the basically the left doing everything within their power to tear down the growth of the country. At that point, I just don't understand how people could still sit there and say like we're better off today than we were 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because look what's happening. And now that look what we're talking about. We're talking about people possibly getting exposed to a Chernobyl level event. Yeah. We're talking about a train derailment left, right, and center.
Well, people have been getting exposed too.
Right.
Like there's pictures of like the kids with their hands and their eye. Like it's like a really like disgusting,
honestly,
vile situation.
If you ask me, I don't think that this is even like like where we should be as citizens in this country. I don't see it being. I don't care if we're like liberal, conservative, in the middle, black, white. I don't care what we are. We have to figure out what we're going to do together because we're about as divided as we can be. You know what I mean? Like, and look what's happening. And now it's like, what are we going to say? Like, oh, well, he voted for Trump. I'm not going to save him. I'm not going to help him. You know, like.
So what do you think the United States government can do to bring everybody together?
I don't think it's going to come from the government. I think it's got to come from us.
I don't think so, guys.
I don't think it can come from the government.
I think what's going to happen is just like World War I, World War II, the Revolutionary War. You come together against a common enemy. And you say, okay, you're white, I'm black, he's Asian, he's Indian, he's Native American, whatever. At the end of the day, we're all Americans.
Right.
Even if you're second, third, fourth generation.
The only thing that kind of terrifies me a little bit with that is like, if you look back at those times, like World War II and so on and so forth, the country still had base values, like core values.
Yes.
I don't think this country right now has those same core values. Like, I don't think if we say this, if we say, hey, we're going to war with Russia or we're going to war with China or something, I don't think that in 6 months or a year, whatever it is, that people are going to just band together. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're going to seclude into their own little sects.
I think
and be
you're
like,
wrong.
Listen, man, every time I turn on some kind of social media, all I'm looking at is people just putting other people down for absolutely no reason. Yeah. So I think it's more feasible to say, we're all friends, right?
Yeah.
We're going to war, whatever. Let's stay to our sect. Yeah. This is our bubble. However big that bubble is, who knows? But like, this is our bubble, and then these people on this side of the country have their bubble, and over here have their bubble, and it's going to be split into cities. Like, they're going to have the good side of the city.
It'd be like, what was that city? Fuck! It was like 6 city blocks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where was that? That was it was like during like COVID. They got the one guy that took over like 6 city blocks.
Oh, it was in Seattle or
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Hunger Games.
No, this happened in the past couple of years.
It was like 2020. It was
What did he do? He took over.
He took over 6. He basically took over 6 city blocks, and it was just like
no cops could
rape,
come in,
assault, murder, like shit was just going on in this and the city was like, we're not jumping in there risking our lives.
Yeah.
Because we can't control
cops getting messed
I want
up.
to say it was in like Oregon.
It could have been.
I think it was Oregon.
I'll look it up and put it up for everyone. But I do have to agree with Javen though. I do think in all of like history, you see, I think because of the fact that we've been in peace, quote unquote peace, for so long, people are just bound to be assholes, right or left. That's just how it is. And I think like if it comes down to it, okay, we find out Russia was. I'm just saying, like we find out Russia's behind the derailments. And then they're working with China, and they were trying to scope this out or whatever it was. I think people are going to realize very fast that this is like a really big event.
It is.
And left, right, center doesn't matter. Black, white, Asian, yellow, purple. Yeah. I think to your point, I think people will start coming together. Yes, there probably will be those sects where people are going to be like, I'm not a part of this. This is there'll be like a Vietnam situation. Yeah. But I do have to agree with you. I do think it'll take a big event.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, it's like how I see it is like this personally. Are you going to lay down and wait for basically everyone you know and love to be in danger?
Yeah.
Or are you going to stand up and face that shit before it even comes across the ocean?
Agreed, yeah.
Like, I just couldn't do it. I don't understand how people nowadays can just say, oh, America, this isn't for me. Like, you've done this, and this to my people. But, yeah, I haven't felt it, though, even in the past, 23 years.
Yeah.
But because you did this in the past, I don't think I'm going to do anything for you. I think it's really just cowardice.
Yeah.
It's very cowardly to sit here and say, oh, I don't believe in America. And I'm not going to lie. Back when Colin Kaepernick was taking the knee, I agreed with him.
Sure, yeah.
Because he was trying to reform something. But when you if you could sit down and you can look danger in its face coming for you, and you can choose to say, I'm not participating, somebody else can do it because I don't believe in America, you're just a coward.
You're
just a coward.
And I really think that in times of, so what is the quote? Hard times make strong men, what is it?
Hard times create strong men, strong men create good times create weak men, so the cycle continues.
Yes.
So I think really what we're seeing is we like you said, we've been at peace for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And what have we seen in these
Mhm.
past however many years, right? Especially from 2014 to 2019, only thing that anybody could talk about was the color of everyone's skin. That's the only thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
And whether you're Colin Kaepernick taking a knee to try to fight injustice in your own way,
Mhm.
but then look what happens. What does everyone do? They go in and they monetize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like look,
Black Lives
Black Lives
Matters.
Matter was a monetization only movement.
That was a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
Well, you know what's
So-
wild about that too?
well, hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
sorry,
Damn,
sorry,
okay,
sorry.
sure. So, but what I'm saying is, if everything they're trying to make us focus on the wrong things,
Yeah.
so that way when something like this happens, we say, well, wait a minute, my neighbor hates me because I'm white and I hate him because he's black,
Yeah.
but now we're supposed to band together, like it's going to create this divide, and I'm just saying like, it's so dumb. Like, how are we still talking about this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
How
Yeah.
do we grow up learning about like the civil rights movement? And what is it? Like it's 2023 and we had the same kind of issues going on. You know what I mean? And I think personally, the government is strategically doing these things. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the government would say, okay, we're gonna put out this video of this happening, make it go mainstream,
Yeah.
right? Maybe it's one bad cop, and he does something really messed up,
Mhm.
all over the news.
Yeah.
Right. You see that same interaction, and it's of course it got to be a white cop and a black man, right? You see that same exact interaction in every city around the country, but it's a white cop and a white man, a white
Yeah.
cop and an Asian man, a
Yeah.
black cop and
Yeah.
you don't hear about that. So I just think they're making us focus on they're trying to make us like tunnel vision on the wrong thing, and then something like this is happening, and then we're just like kind of like numb to it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I don't know if this is true. This could be completely fake news, but I'm scrolling through YouTube Shorts,
Yeah.
and
People watch this. I'm sorry. I just.
yeah, no, I watch them. You know.
Hey, I'm not. No judgment.
So I'm scrolling through, and it comes up on this page like, oh, I don't know if you guys have known this, but the government is basically keeping this under the hush with everything going over in
Pull a
Ukraine.
little closer.
Oh, going over through Ukraine, and all the global turmoil.
Yeah.
Please look this up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sound like an idiot on here.
Trust me, I've fact checked myself a million times. I can make a whole like slew of
Yeah.
things of me saying something and going, popping up on the screen. That was false.
Yeah.
So
Ask
you're good.
Google if one of the terrorists that orchestrated 9/11 was released in 2023.
What?
Ask Google.
Wait, hold
I
on.
could be
Go ahead,
completely.
you
I don't
have
know.
this.
I don't know.
No, it's okay. Well, it's fine. Well, and again, like I'm it's totally fine because I can't tell you how many times, like I said before, Gavin and I would say something, and then like I would go back into post edit just to like confirm us, and like it'll be like live. I'll be like, yeah, 4 people dead, and then like I pull up the facts,
Yeah.
no one died,
Yeah, that's gotta be,
and then
like,
I'll
the
point to myself and be like,
worst feeling.
idiot.
That's got.
Well, no, but like I'm okay being wrong.
Yeah,
Like if I'm
everybody's
wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like there was like I did like the McKinney Manor on like my other podcast, and I was like, I'm pretty sure 2 people died. I looked it up, and I was like, no one died. And I was like, and then it was so embarrassing. But like I'm like, yeah, you have to put it in. You can't cut it out,
Yeah.
otherwise you're disingenuine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all good. But so you're saying they got released in 2023?
Only one of them.
That's
From what I saw, the
wild.
mugshot and everything.
That's crazy. And what's wild about all of that is the absolute distrust in the government. Is like it doesn't matter if you're left, right, center. It like there's just so much distrust, and the fact that people like 9/11 is one of the biggest conspiracies
Yeah.
blows my mind. And especially with like JFK, which is I don't know if you guys knew this, that the 50th year they're supposed to release all the stuff. They chose to keep it and not release it.
Interesting.
So I remember like
Well, they're saying it's a mob hit with JFK. There's a mob hit.
there was that him and I covered that a while ago.
Oh my! Wait a minute.
Yeah.
20th hijacker is returned to Saudi Arabia for mental health care.
Yeah.
Mohammed al-Qatani has spent 20 years at Guantanamo Bay, where he was tortured so badly that he was ineligible to be tried at the War Crimes Court. Wow.
So he was released.
So
Yeah.
he was released, yeah. That was back
Yeah.
Your
in...
information was good.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wow, that's some shit.
The things you don't see that's happening behind closed doors. It's
But
ridiculous.
just look at this. We always say, you said 80 years, right?
Yeah, every 80
When
years.
9/11 happened, that was like one of the signifying times that the whole country like kind of banded together.
Yeah.
Like, especially in New York, especially in
Mhm.
the big cities, and only what 22 years has gone by, and now we have that this wide division again.
It's that peacetime. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But how do we like? That's what I'm saying. I think we've been letting the government control our society, and that's why I said I disagree with saying that the government should bring us together.
I agree with
because
you
we've
on
been
that,
seeing
yeah.
them bringing us together when they're really tearing us apart.
Yeah.
I think the only way is to figure out as citizens the way to get out of underneath the thumb of the government. Like, I know it seems impossible, but look at what we're seeing now, right? Right. Look at what's happening, and now we're saying, we won the war, yeah, or we did this, we did that. Oh, we're all cool. 10 years, 20 years goes by. F you, like
Yeah.
we've seen it repeatedly.
Yeah.
So I think we have to I think realistically, the way to like win back the country is to figure out a way to all like band together within the cities and within like the surrounding areas to
It's
say
gonna
like
be war, dude.
if
It's gonna be war, dog.
if it's going to be war, I think we're already at war. So
No, I mean like this is gonna be actual fucking.
why do you think they're
I
trying to
do-
take everyone's guns?
I do think it's gonna be, and you know what it is? It might not even be from the government yet. I'm saying it like it'll probably end up being like some kind of like left right, like not like an actual Democrat versus Republican. I mean like people who are so violently left and so violently right.
Only thing the government has to do is nudge the thing, because if they say all they have to do is this, all they have to do is say this, hey, gang leader, this other gang said this about you. You're gonna let that slide? Hey, gang leader, dang, this guy just got shot by. Even though we shot him, don't tell him that. They shot him.
Yeah.
The white man shot him.
Yeah.
Go kill the white man. Hey, white man, the black guy is taking over your city. Hey, you got, and like hey, men are awful. Hey, and they just keep nudging a little bit, and all it takes is a little nudge, a little bit.
You don't want to start with that women thing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and that's what I'm saying. A little nudge here and a little nudge there, and then the next thing you know, the government's sitting back and watching fires, and everything's blowing up, and everyone's freaking
But
out.
here's the thing. Do you think that they want to do that in their
Yes,
country?
yes.
I
Who
do.
wants to be the king of rubble? Who?
It doesn't, because they're trying to restart.
yes.
They're trying to reset everything.
Well,
It's the whole new world order.
Right,
That's
the
the
new
whole-
world
yeah.
order. This has been in effect for a while now,
Mhm.
and everyone's like,
It's also
it's
just
a
a theory.
conspiracy, blah blah blah.
Mm.
The government wants to effectively wipe out like a good percentage of the population of the planet, and it's not just our government, right? So that way they can like reset the earth, because there's too many people. The resources are drying up way faster than they're telling us that they are.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere for everyone to go, so they're like, we're going to consistently do these things. And, also at the same time, the people that are running the country aren't looking out for the people.
They're looking out for themselves.
Right. But there's no way, like, okay, if, like, I just literally saw this on Instagram Reels. I just found out that those were a thing. So, literally, this chick was like, it was some like podcast just like this, and she was like, the government, everyone's conspiracy theorists, and the government's out to get you. The government doesn't care. Like, the government's just doing their job, and we're the people, blah blah blah. And I'm like, only thing even take into account everything that's happened. The only thing that you have to look at is what happened during the this past election. And then tell me that the
Yeah.
government's not corrupt. Tell me the government's
yeah.
looking out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Trying to get that guy in that office, that was ridiculous.
And kind of stepping away from this country a little bit.
Yeah.
We also see some global or some natural disasters happen in other
You
countries.
read my mind.
It's like
You read my
that
mind,
earthquake.
Gav.
earthquakes in Turkey and Syria,
Mhm.
killing how many
See,
people? Like thousands.
I've talked to a
thousands of
few people about that earthquake in what is it, Syria
Yeah,
and
in
Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
Apparently, that's caused like a huge crack in Africa, and they're saying that Africa's splitting apart.
Well,
It's like a 20.
there was a huge tsunami in Italy.
See, I think that the Earth resets itself. I don't think that global warming. I think global warming it does have effect on it. I think that people, individuals, corporations, however you want to call it, has a huge impact on that.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know. I've always had kind of a problem with the whole meteorite catastrophe wiping out everything. I think that I think it's natural, but I also think that it's the Earth doing it to itself. I think it's the Earth almost taking a Tylenol and wiping everything out and starting.
Oh yeah. Well, why do you think there's so many natural disaster movies? Like, where do you think that they just start? Why do you think those movies are so incredibly in depth and so based in
Especially
reality?
2012.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
the Earth
like,
today stood still.
all of a sudden, boom, soon like 100 feet high or 1,000 feet high tsunamis or something like crazy, like tornadoes, earthquakes, eruptions and volcanic
Yeah.
activity and this that boom 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 boom, and then the planet dies, right?
Yeah.
The thing I would agree with you. I think that way back when people still were able to just consume knowledge and then have that knowledge, right, without it being filtered, without it being incorrect, without it being, because as the age old like adage, history is written by the victors, right? Because if we're gonna fight, it doesn't matter who's in the wrong. If I beat you, I'm gonna say, oh, it was his fault,
Yeah.
right?
No, yeah.
So I think that the information that we have about the planet that we live on is so filtered now that we don't know what's happening. We don't know.
I think it's filtered and minuscule. We haven't even really gone
Yeah.
through the ocean.
They're talking about light years in space, and we don't even know what's in our own planet.
Exactly.
Like our like, you know what I'm saying, like we know that, okay, at some point all of the land was kind of connected, and then it's slowly separated, right?
Pangea, right?
Yeah.
So is it going to continue to separate?
Now, I don't know if you heard this, but I heard that there's a theory that Pangea, there's multiple different factors of Pangea. So Pangea was the only closest model of all continents coming together and combining, right?
Okay.
But there was a Pangea before that, there's a Pangea before that, and there's a Pangea before that, and
I
before
did
that.
not know
Really?
this.
Yes, and then after every instance of it breaking apart, civilization basically has to restart, and it kind of starts off on a medieval foot.
Oh,
So
interesting.
Atlantis, I don't know if you guys heard about Atlantis.
Yeah, I've heard.
Apparently it's in the North Pole. They found it.
Apparently, yeah. I did hear something about.
I
it, but
did not
I
know
heard, like,
that.
very briefly.
The lost city of Atlantis.
I mean, I could be completely wrong.
Well, yeah.
But, I'm
Well,
not a
you're
scientist.
one for
That's-
one so far. So
I mean, it's
know-
like that's why. Why do you think we have world wonders? Like the pyramids,
Mhm.
right? Like how were they made? And then it's like a whole bunch of stuff where it's
No.
like left, right, and center. How far they were.
Thank
You
you.
know what I'm saying? Like who made those? And they're it's
Thank
aliens.
you for
oh no,
saying that.
they were just that smart.
I just got so excited.
It's
Thank for
you know what I'm
talking
saying?
about that.
Like
yeah.
Have
me
you guys
too.
heard about the new AI systems?
yeah.
Oh, the one with yes, and it was like I want to be alive or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No. They're the ones that's open to the public. It's still open to the public
Like
right now.
Chat GPT.
You can look. You can go on to it right now. Look it up. I asked this thing how the pyramids were made, right?
Oh
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
no.
Data not collected.
No, it told me.
Oh no.
It told me.
What did he say? What did he say?
They said they transport stone from however far away to the site, then took the stone, refined the stone, and then built it from a base. So you know how people say, "Oh, how did they make it?" Honestly, it's literally, it's fucking weird.
Well, there was a whole AI thing where Google had a release. You can go on Reddit. You can find this, and the guy that leaked it, like, got fired. Like it was a wild thing. So he had an actual conversation with this AI, and I think I called you about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you. bro.
about how it
Put this down.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
about how it realizes that it's like it's sentient, it's all this kind of stuff. And it was freaky because this guy's having a real full-on conversation with this thing,
Right.
and it's wild. Which, if you think about it, in some kind of forms, it's kind of like UFOs. Because the
Yeah.
past week, they've shot down there's been 3 different encounters
Yep.
with UFOs, and the government, like this is from Biden too, and it's on CNN and it's fact checked, have had military confrontations with UFOs that have struck them down.
Yeah.
And this is all after, especially like the Chinese balloon.
So they're saying that like our F-18s, F-35s and stuff shot down the UFOs,
That's
or
the-
were
that's
they
the-
in combat and
Yeah, we
got
don't
the upper
know.
hand, or
we don't
I
know.
I
dude.
don't think that we're shooting down a UFO.
I don't think so either.
Unless they want it to be shot down.
Yes.
Maybe this is something from Roswell.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something to bring it out of their closet. Like, oh, we got a skeleton. Oh, it's perfect time to bring this one out. Let's just we got one.
Yeah, we don't know, dude. It's all wild, and what's weird is that this is all happening within like a week or two, and it's
Yeah.
kind of freaky.
Well, what else is crazy too, if you think about it, is we know for a fact that throughout history, the people that have been winning, like the victors of everything, have been polluting and diluting our knowledge on the planet, like history.
Yeah.
So it all started right. You got. Well, really, you can say it started with Jesus. I mean, when they killed him, how many people were like, he was a fake and he was a phony and blah.
Yeah.
And so then that's what the word was. But then look at what happened at the Library of Alexandria, right?
Oh, and they
That was the biggest, most inclusive library, like to have the
Burned
most knowledge,
Burn
burned
that
to the
bitch.
ground and everything in it.
Yeah.
So they say.
Was that when was that? Was that like the Crusade times? What was that?
I was like,
I don't
like
remember.
Spartan times? Or
Yeah.
something like that?
You
It was
sure
a,
it
yeah, it
wasn't
was a,
the
it was no, it was
Oh,
long,
it was
long
long
before that.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was because the Crusade. Well, that's the other thing is well, you got to think the Crusades time was when they like were raiding like the King James.
Yeah, that
version
was
of the
way
Bible.
after.
Yeah, and
So it
that's
was
when they were
way
looking
after.
for the cup of Christ.
Yeah,
The chalice, yeah.
yeah. But
AKA
I
they
just
found it, by the way.
But
They
then you
found
look
it.
at and then they go, oh, well, that was how many hundreds of years ago? Okay, what happened in the '60s with JFK, right?
Yeah.
What happened when he was going to expose all them, and then they
Yep.
said, nah, bro,
Yeah.
hit him with the blammy.
Can't say that, man.
It happened.
I heard there's a different theory. Luke from my work, he's like the wife was in on it too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
And well, so that I said the same
She
thing.
she was just probably just a plan.
Well,
No,
that's what.
no.
Listen, I don't know. Listen, hear me out. I'll try to make this quick because we're already at like 43 minutes. Basically, she was shocked, but they're like, if she was like trying to put his head back together, but she didn't look as surprised. Like there was this whole breakdown, and he explained something to me. I didn't look it up, so
I don't know, man. That's
but
a little
I don't know.
far.
That's
far. enough
listen,
for me.
bro. I don't know. I heard-
Listen,
Alright.
if you get your head shot apart,
Blown off, clean.
like this part of your head is now over there. I might try to. Hey, man, I got you, bro.
Like, bro, if it's somebody you love, you'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, you're not going out like
she
this.
probably
Not in front of all you."
she
people."
probably didn't understand what was happening.
No.
Yeah.
Like, look, it just asks.
I
Like,
was there, bro.
Like, obviously, just asks
He was a
soldiers.
shooter.
Like
I was in the grassy knoll.
So I watch like these like it's like these TikToks like this former soldier and stuff.
Yeah.
He'll tell you like what in movies what it looks like when you get shot versus what it looks like in real life and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And he did one where he's like in movies, tell my family I love them because like if they're dying, like tell my family I love them or whatever. And in real life, he's like, where's my gun? Where's my rifle? Where's my, you know what I mean? Like they're not, because like your brain isn't processing what's
Yeah.
happening. So there's no way that a non-military mind like her, seeing her husband's, all of a sudden your husband's here, and all of a sudden he's like,
Whoa.
and like you're looking around and everyone's freaking out, and
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? And what I want to know is, didn't they have those swivel chair cars where like the passenger could like swivel back in the '60s? That was an invention in the
Yeah.
'60s, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they would be like, they would hit a button, they'd be like,
They also had like couches and like the.
you're telling
yeah.
me, bro, the Secret Service or whatever could have been like, like if they're over here, just be like, oh
He got shot too. The guy in front of him,
yeah,
the bullet went through him and hit.
yeah. But what the other guy?
Also
the
got shot.
driver, the
No.
driver's just gonna.
I would hit the one smooth motion. Bloop.
You don't want to stop
That's
while you're
what
getting sniped at,
He's already dead.
and you're in the middle of it. Why would you stop?
Why would they kill me? I'm just the driver.
The
Bro, if
passenger got hit,
if I turn by accident,
he still got hit.
if I turn around and I look and I
Yeah.
like imagine like that has imagine going back to like the office and being like, and like your boss is like,
You're fired.
what happened? You're
You're
like,
fired.
Yo, could you imagine
don't
it was
know.
like an automated chair? It's like, oh no, Mr.
Let me
President.
ask you guys this: Who would you guys rather be? Who would you guys rather be?
Yes.
An NFL kicker who loses a playoff game from a 40-yard kick,
yeah.
Okay.
boink, or that Secret Serviceman that's driving the car?
Oh,
Definitely
bro.
the Secret Service, bro.
Oh, you're going the kicker? You're going the Secret Service?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
bro, I'll make a career missing kicks. you can't
I
make a
needed you
career
on the
about
Chiefs,
killing
bro. I
presidents.
needed you on the Chiefs.
Yo, dead ass, dog. You
Yeah.
fucked me over with that parlay.
That
dog.
sucks for you.
Did me dirty,
listen.
$2,200.
Like, imagine just being in like the crowd, right? Well, it's actually, funnily enough, another part of a theory is like people were saying that like if you rewatch the footage, the driver or like the whatever it was, the Secret Service and stuff didn't really react the way they were really like you would expect them
Yeah,
to
be
react.
trained to.
So they're like, and then it's also another thing where it's like, knowing that JFK was on the precipice of doing like breaking the news, like spilling the
Yeah.
beans on all this stuff that's happened in the government.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in a drop top car.
And going after the mob while doing
Exactly, in a drop top car, driving around, parading himself,
it. Yep.
and then of course that happened. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think it was a cover. I mean, I think it was a cover up. I don't think it was just some crazy guy that just killed him, because he also has connections to the CIA,
Yeah.
right? There's not like, come on, you know, it's like saying 9/11 wasn't an inside job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think, with long story short, like to kind of get through the point of everything, there's so many catalysts right now in the news globally that can bring people together. From the war in Ukraine, you saw every man in Ukraine stayed to fight,
Right.
which was very honorable. I respect those guys. out
Yeah,
there,
no, that was some good
that's
shit.
yeah. And then you got the UFOs, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got North Korea threatening sending over missiles over Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the whole China scandal about them arming up their fucking vessels and going over the Taiwan Strait. Oh,
No, because you're
I'm really low. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
There's just so many things that could happen and most likely will happen to basically, like you guys say, insinuate this new world order.
Yeah.
There's so many things in the work. No matter what they do, they can't fumble it.
There's only I mean, they could fumble it, but then they'd have to immediately flip it and tumble it.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this thing up. So we're already at 48. But yeah, dude, some of these current events recently have been honestly a little scary. And
I'm not excited. I'm scared to see what's gonna happen next. Really.
So am I. I'm not. I really want this all to settle down and be kumbaya. But
because we're kind of really screwed in the danger zone.
Oh, yeah.
dude, I know.
We got the bomb. I mean the train derailment in Ohio. We got the nuclear reactors right down the street.
Dude, honestly, down with
Yeah.
Ohio, swag with the. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
It's really tough for Ohio, bro. They lost their playoffs.
Yeah.
And they got this
Bro,
shit
what is happening in Ohio, dog?
It's always
It's always
dude, it's
Ohio.
always in
Ohio.
Ohio.
It's Ohio, bro.
All right, but we'll wrap this one up. David, thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you
Man.
for having me on. Hopefully I get you guys some good content from that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you know 99%? Anyways, all right, see you guys next week.